Well, this is the week we roll out the major analytical report that all BCom 301 classes have face-to-face and virtually. Also, I'm doing something different. As I get to the core requirements, I'm basically walking you through the document, highlighting certain examples, and I found some typos. And now I don't want to go back and redo the document and redo the entire slide deck. So we'll chuckle away as I do this. The document is on the left-hand menu. And basically it first lists the requirements. I'll only point out a couple. APA is professionalism. Okay? Credible sources is professionalism. Peer-reviewed journals is only something an academic will know. That's how we get published and how we get tenured and how we get promoted in the States. I've already mentioned the 5 W's and crap at the previous slide deck. And charts and graphs, that's professionalism. They have to be original. You cannot cut and paste from the net. And there are a lot of tools out there to demonstrate how you can do that. I thought about adding them into the document, but then there's so many I decided not to do it. Now, take a look at this piece of the document. Word has just told me I have an error. Can you see it? Yep. There it is. If I'd only noticed it, right-click, it would have corrected it for me. You may have used on team projects before Google Docs. Well, students discovered Word Online, and I kind of would say try that first. Basically, it's everything Google Docs does. You can jointly create a PowerPoint together. You can jointly create a document, Word document together. And the problem with Google Docs, if you've used it, downloading and formatting into Word just doesn't work. Businesses don't use Google Docs. Okay, some of the report organization highlights. Okay, the title page, I've added a chart summarizing individual team members' contribution. And you can't count the chart in the total number of pages. Then you put in a page break. Then you put in the table of contents. And there's a video on how to use Word table of contents template. Then you put in a page break. All right. Here's number 3. List the charts and visuals. I've given you the format. And one of the chuckling things I discovered with my face-to-face class, a lot of students put all of the charts and visuals here and not in the body of the paper. The charts, visuals, etc., showing your professionalism, are in the body of the paper, and you're discussing them in the body of the paper. This is simply a list, and I've given you examples. Page number alignment here. Then you put in the page break. The 4th section is the executive summary, in which you simply give the statement of the problem, what you want to do with this report, the type of research method you use, which will be database review, and just a few sentences summarizing your findings and conclusions. Please do not copy and paste what you've written before. I provided a checklist, which I've previously mentioned, about clarity. On the introduction, I've given you the 3 items your introduction should include. I would like you to cite where you got the source for the definition of the terms that you're using in your report. Now, here was another lesson learned from the face-to-face students. And so, to help you along to look more professional, I've given you 5 items to work with. And I've given you sources of information, of databases. Now, this is the big part of your paper. Using subsections, subdivisions, subheadings. You'll recall that I showed you how Royal Dutch Shell Sustainability Report used subheadings. It's what's expected in professional business writing. Then I provide you a checklist, which I've already reviewed in a previous video, on professionalism, clarity, conciseness, evidence-driven, and persuasive. Then, the final section is the reference section. I have a link for APA formatting, and I've gone even further and cited specific examples of correctly formatted APA citings from an online journal or magazine. Now, here's an example of one of the many topics you can choose from. I have a topic, and then I give you a link to something related to that topic. I define the problem for you, the research question for you, and I give you terms to define. I've added another one, as I mentioned before, to address the veterans in this class. Now, you will also have to create as a team slides that relate to your presentation. I'll see them and give you feedback. Now, as to how to create the presentation, present, I just caught it. Boy, am I an example of professionalism? I've given you choices. You can use YouTube and VoiceThread. Those are tools that past classes have used. But I'll also accept screencast-o-matic videos. Now, how are you going to do this presentation? Well, the first speaker will always introduce the topic and who the team members are and what they did. Then subsequent speakers, and people are going to have to speak more than once, will present sections of the report. And that will probably take the most time. And of course, the final speaker will naturally do conclusions and recommendations. Well, I hope this has been an overview. It's given you some insight, and I hope some chuckles about my own typos. Thank you.